Hey, today I want to share with you two powerful attitudes that we all need to embrace when we start a self-discovery journey. This video is part of a series called Find Yourself, and it's part 2. Therefore, I'll add in part 1 into the description below so that you can catch up on what you've missed out on. Now, I'm Fiona McLeod, spiritual teacher, energy healer, tarot reader, and intuitive, and I help people to let go of the limiting subconscious beliefs and other patterns that stop them living their most awesome life. So, of course, in order to be living your best life, we need to be on that self-discovery journey so that we can get to know ourselves better. So these two powerful attitudes are, number 1, acceptance. Acceptance is so powerful. It literally takes layers of stress off us. What this means is we accept our environment, we accept our situation, we accept others, we accept ourselves as we are today. Now, this is not to be confused for a resignation. So we do not accept anything that doesn't need to evolve as it's got to stay like this. It's more of an acceptance. It is what it is, and now where do we go from here? Now, there is one exception to the rule, and that is abuse. Any level of abuse is a no. We just leave the building, so to speak, and none of what I teach is relevant if there is serious abuse at hand. Okay, so acceptance is really just stopping the moaning and complaining about what is and going, this is what we've got to work with, and allowing yourself to stand grounded. Because if we're like focusing on the things that we're complaining about and judging other things, that causes us a lot of stress. And when we're in stress, we can't hear our intuition, we're not grounded, we're clouded, we're overwhelmed, and this doesn't help matters. So this level of acceptance is just simply an attitude to get yourself on the starting blocks to move forward with ease and grace. Now, number 2 is actually appreciation. Now, appreciation is a wonderful tool to add into your daily repertoire. A lot of people like to use a gratitude journal, but many people don't know that a gratitude journal, or being in the state of gratitude, actually raises our energetic vibration simply by thinking and feeling into these positive thoughts. It raises the DHEA, we improve other happy chemicals, and we basically just enhance our internal structure so that we genuinely are feeling happy on a physiological level as well as an emotional level. So how to do a gratitude journal? Simply get up every day and write down 3 to 5 things that you appreciate, that you're grateful for. Now, what happens is people often get stuck in a rut. Maybe you're full of depression, maybe you're feeling anxious at the moment, and therefore can't see the wood for the trees. So it's hard to sort of focus on what's good, but I encourage you to try to simply look at the little things. Maybe it's that the sun came up today, or that you've got running water in your tap, or that you've got a house to live in, or that you've got a really yummy cozy bed, or that maybe you do have friends that are supportive, or family, or maybe you do have someone who can hug you, or a pet, an animal that can give you that unconditional love. There are always little things we can appreciate, even in our depths of despair. And in fact, when we are in our depths of despair, this is the crucial time to look for those things. Now, it's not about bypassing. It's not about bypassing any low vibe emotions. It's just twisting the focus a bit, because it's easy for us to focus on what's going wrong and not see all the good that is there. So that's not bypassing any emotions you haven't dealt with. That's just changing your viewpoint on everything. When we're in that appreciation mode, because it raises our energetic vibration into more of a love vibration, which is considered the receptive mode, which this means that you're actually in an energy that attracts back good energy. Because if we're feeling the high vibrations of love, of joy, happiness, then we attract circumstances and people and things that mimic the same energy. Now, I'd like to share with you a little parable that one of my clients actually brought up just last week in our membership portal. And this parable is relative to both aspects of these two attitudes. And it goes like this. I'll give you the synopsis version. It's probably not exactly how it's supposed to be said. But there's this man, let's call him John. John is considered to be a poor man in his society, unwealthy, not wealthy. And he has one horse to his name. And one day, his horse goes running off and he loses the one thing he had. And his neighbour says to him, "Oh, John, poor you. That's terrible." And John says, maybe. And a few days later, the horse comes galloping with another larger herd of horses with him. And so John ends up with this huge paddock full of horses. And the neighbour says, "Oh, you're so lucky to have all these horses." And John says, maybe. And then shortly after that, he needs to get help, doesn't he? Because now he's got too much work to do. The neighbour thinks, "Oh, well, actually, this maybe not be so good because now you've got so much work to do. How are you going to manage all these horses?" But fortunately, John's son comes along and helps him out with the horses, and it's all fantastic. And of course, the neighbour thinks, "Oh, John, you're so lucky." And John says, maybe. And then the son injures himself, falls off the horse and breaks lots of bones and is not able to help on the farm anymore. And the neighbour once again says, "Oh, you're so unlucky. That's terrible." John says, maybe. And a few weeks later, war breaks out and all the young men are required to go to war. All the young, fit and healthy men, that is. And therefore, John's son has to stay at home because he is not able to go to war since he has all the broken bones. And the neighbour says, "Oh, how lucky are you, John?" John says, maybe. Because it's all in perspective, isn't it? So you get the drift of where I'm going with this story. Therefore, I encourage you to just not label things as good or bad. It really just is. Everything in life has the polarity. You can't have hot without cold. You can't have high without low. You can't have man without woman. So there's no right or wrong. It's just is. And there's this neutral ground that when we understand the magnificence of the universe, there's always a method in what seems like madness from our human perspective. Therefore, I encourage you to see the world from a different perspective, allowing you to open your eyes and appreciate what is, because you don't know how much this could be protecting, saving you, or leading you to something more grand. This is a magnificent life, and in order to live your best life, we really need to do the self-discovery, and that means stripping away the layers of the ego that do not serve us anymore. And the ego is the attitude. The ego is the judgment of what's right and wrong. So if we can just accept things as they are, this does not mean that you fall into being a boring person with no opinion. It simply means that you're at peace in your heart and you trust the process of divine timing and the universe's will, rather than constantly forcing things with your free will. And that, my friend, is part 2 of the Find Yourself series. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and we'll see you here next time. Ciao for now.